Hey everyone! So I have a little flip through of the two A6TN junk journals that I made with my February hip kits. I will link the process video down below, but I just kind of wanted to show you a flip through of the completed journals. Now they're not filled in like with my journaling or anything like that, it's just the construction of them. I did do the second one off camera, and then I kind of put them in to my A6 traveler's notebook already, and you see how big and chunky they are. There are these two books in the back. So I just kind of wanted to show you how they came out looking. So this is the first one. This is the one that you see me create in the process video. You see me do all the decorations and everything, and then I did this one off camera only because it got really late and the light left me and all this other stuff. So I did this one off camera. That's why I wanted to show you a little flip through of how they will look. So these are junk journals. I call them junk journals. They're probably going to end up being like art journals, or like you can make them the same way and use them as mini books. They make excellent gifts for people. They look really, really cute with all the stuff in them. I call them junk journals because they're kind of little scraps. Even though I did use my kits for them, they're kind of little scraps and bits and pieces put together. They're kind of like a mismatch of all sorts of things. And when I journal in them, I'll probably put in like receipts or like little things through my day, and then just journal in them. That's usually a junk journal. Usually they're created with like leftover bits of things, but they're supposed to look like a mishmash of all sorts of things, but you know, that's why I call them junk journal. Junk, sort of. It's not really junk since I use my kids, but that was the style I guess I was going for with these journals. So this is the first one that you saw me do. The cover is the cover. I put a doily. Now I glued it down with some gel medium, and then I didn't like how that looked, so then I taped it and then it ripped. It was whatever. I like that look. It doesn't bother me at all. So this is actually two doilies layered on top, and then this bird I cut, and then this one that says love you, and then on the back, I believe this was on film, I took some of that ribbon trim and put it there so the edge is kind of a little scalloped. I love that look. So this is the first one. When you open it up, you have that lovely weekend. Remember, I used tea dyeing. I tea dyed all the papers, like all these papers and some of the cardstock. I also tea dyed this tag. So here I made a little pocket, and then I have this tag in here. I can put photos in here, journaling cards or whatever, little bits of ephemera when I start doing my journaling and stuff. Here's a doily. I love how the doilies look, kind of peek out. This is that vellum. Look at how the gold, you can see the gold through. It's so pretty. Another one of those tea dye papers. Same here. Here I used one of the little kind of layered banners from the Maggie Holmes ephemera pack, and then I used some stickers to cover up the back. I left that little scallop edge, it was fine. Have this gold doily here. Then I have this piece of cardstock where I used some of that trim that I had and a little banner sticker, and just kind of, I stapled it with my tiny attacher. And I have it here, and that's just little decoration, really. More paper. This is one of those journaling cards. This is half of it. Here I kind of took the journaling card and I trimmed it, and then I stapled it so it kind of makes a little kind of tuck-in pocket. I have more of these ephemera bits and have a lot of tags. Some of these tags came in the ephemera pack that was in the main kit, and a lot of them I actually made. So this is that paper that I gessoed. It kind of looks distressed, and the thing is, when you put it, I mean, this you can feel it raised, but it's kind of pretty flat because I did it with the card. And then since I stapled here, I wanted to cover up those staples, so I made these little banners from the branding strips, and then I fussy cut one of those butterflies from that monarch paper, and I have that covering that there. So I can just journal here or whatever, it's really pretty. Another side of the doily, this floral paper that I tea dyed, more tea dyed. Here is another one of that trim. I love it that you see the trim throughout. This is a scrap piece of paper that I just kind of layered here with another one of those butterflies. That all these butterflies are fussy cut from the paper. Here I used some of the washi, and then I have this was one of the Project Life cards that I backed on this piece of paper, and I didn't trim it, I like that little look there, and I made a little tip-in so I can journal here, put photos or whatever. Here I made a little tag, but out of some of the vellum scrap, and I just kind of clipped it here. I love how that looks. This is a little kind of embellishment. I took some of that trim with some of this other trim, and then I put a ephemera piece on top, and then I stapled everything, and it's just gonna be right here. Kind of pokes out to the top a bit. I love that. This is the other side, so I guess this is the other side. Here I just kind of use some of the washi and some of those little stickers just to embellish everything. Another pocket with more tea dyed cards. A corner pocket with this cut apart. Well, I cut this from the paper, the camera paper, and then another tag. Doily, the other side of the doily. Here I used scraps to make banners, and then I layered it with the sticker, with some phrase stickers. Love that vellum. Here is a label from the ephemera pack, and another one of those butterflies I fussy cut. And then this is the back, this is where that trim is. So that's the first book, and the second book looks similar. So this is my second book. This is the cover. I left it as is. It looks unfinished to me, and it totally is, because this seam here that I covered a piece of this paper over this paper, I wanted to stitch, but I have a sewing machine. It used to be my grandmother's that my mom brought home like probably a few days ago, and I'm trying to get it to work, and it works. I just don't know how. Like, I was trying to get it to do like a zigzag stitch, and it just doesn't do it. So I didn't want to like ruin my cover and force it in. I'll probably just borrow my friend's sewing machine and go ahead and do some stitching here, because I really, well, this is down as a sticker. I'll peel it up and then do some stitching and then put it through, put it back on, because I would really love some stitching on that seam there. But I have the doily tucked in behind it, and this rabbit sticker, and the back is just this. Again, I kind of want to do that. I'm going to stitch that. So for now, it's going to stay like this. The inside, we have a floral paper again. We start off with a doily and some tea dye paper. Again, the scraps I use to make little banners, and then accent it with those phrase stickers from the Maggie Holmes line. Here we have another pocket with another tag. This one I made from one of the papers. I just cut it down, punched a hole. I used the hole reinforcements, the white hole reinforcements, to like kind of give it that little look, and then I decorated it. I have a doily on this one and one of those bird stickers for the Maggie Holmes collection, the Chasing Dreams. Everything that I used in here are from my February hip kits, besides like these papers and my doilies from my stash, and like any trim. So even this washi is from the hip kits. Here I just kind of used the other half of, I think, the cover doily for over here, and I just glued that on. Here I made a little kind of tuck-in, so I can tuck any cards or anything in there. I have another one of these camera cards that I cut out from that paper. Here is another that trim. I folded it over and put one of those banner stickers, and I used my tiny attacher to staple it onto page. That vellum again. Here's another label with another fussy cut butterfly. Here I have another one of those vellum tags that I kind of did some washi over it, and then one of those frays. I love how that looks. And this one I put a little reinforcement. I think the one that's over here that's kind of stable, tapped on, I'm probably going to go ahead and put one of those reinforcements there too. This one I just kind of stapled onto the page. And then behind it I put a butterfly that I fussy cut just to cover those staples in the back. I love how all these pieces kind of stick out a bit. They're really, really fun. Here I just used a branding strip just to put it there, decoration. I didn't want to get rid of any of the branding strips, so I try to use them as best I can. Again, cut them into banners, and I always layer with a word phrase sticker. Here's another one of those tuck-ins. This is another one of those tags that I made, and I put a doily. The doily just softens everything up. This is also a little corner. This is a little corner pocket, so I can just tuck stuff in there. And I use one of those butterflies, those fringe butterflies from the Maggie Holmes collection. And that, I don't have anything tucked in there, but I can always tuck stuff in there. I love that. It does give the book dimension, but I took off the foam adhesive, so it's a little bit more flat, but I love that little pocket. You don't even know that it's a pocket, but it is. For this one, I just kind of put some of that trim here. I love the texture, all the different textures. And the trim was actually covering up the staples. I did the same thing. I took one of those camera cut pieces and I stapled it just to make a little kind of pocket. This was a tag that I made from the paper, doily, and then I put some staples here actually, and then I put a label. This is a vellum pocket. I used some of the scrap vellum and I laid it with paper washi, and then I used some tags. These are 2 tags that I made from the papers. I used the scrap, like instead of getting rid of my scrap pieces that I used to make the covers. You remember how I had to cut like a really long strip down? Well, I made pockets and I made tags, and I loved decorating these tags. How cute. These I kind of layered twice with 2 different papers. It's awesome. And here's another tag that I made. This one I paper clipped in. And these clips are from Crate Paper. They're from the Cute Girl line. It came in like a little like embellishment pack with sequins and enamel dots, and then these cute little paper clips. So this one I kind of put that trim on the bottom, some washi there, this little die cut heart. Love how soft and sweet that looks. And that is the end of that book. So those are my 2 little books. I'm going to use them as journals, I think, like personal journals. I might do some documenting in them, maybe some art journaling, whatever. But aren't they super, super cute? Like, you can just make these little they're kind of like little keepsake journals, and you can just gift them to people. They make fantastic gifts. I love the tea dyed paper that I did with this collection. Love all the tags that I made. I just really, really liked this little project that I did here, and I can't wait to like fill them up with journaling and stuff. And they're really thick. They're only thick because I use a lot of tea dyed paper, so the paper's wrinkly and everything, but I'm pretty sure the more that it sits in here, the more it'll probably flatten out. You can definitely put like a heavy book on top of them if you want to flatten them out a bit. But the more you add stuff into them, the more chunky they're gonna get. But these make great little gifts. They make great mini albums. You can use them for a regular journal, like kind of like an embellished journal almost. You can add photos, you can use them as art journals, however you want. It's just, I thought this was a nice little fun project to do for the Hip Kit blog. I will definitely leave the link down below to all the Hip Kit information, plus the link to this project on the HipKit blog, and that's where you'll see all the pictures and stuff. The process video will be on the blog post as well. I will try to leave a link to the process video in the description box below if you don't want to head over to the HipKit blog, but I encourage you to head over to the HipKit blog because I'll write more about how I went about doing this, my thoughts, and again, you'll see all those close-up photos of these two books there as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this little flip through video of my two little notebooks, and look how chunky this is now. I love it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!